Very good morning to all of you friends. I hope you guys are doing good. So guys, in the last session, we started with material costing, wherein we discussed what is material, thereafter why material costing, what are the object of studying this chapter. Thereafter, I gave you a brief about what all we'll be discussing in this chapter. So we finished the first two parts, that is relating to material procurement, and the second part, that is at what value the material will be recorded in books of accounts. I hope you guys have solved the questions of study material and past practice manual. I hope you guys have solved the questions of study material and past practice manual. So now let's proceed further with the next part, next phase of the chapter, that is what all records the storekeeper or the company has to maintain. What all records the storekeeper or the company has to maintain. One second, guys. So what all records the storekeeper or company has to maintain to ensure that there is no theft, there is no theft, misutilization, or we can say any sort of wastage of stock. So what all records the company or storekeeper has to maintain. So herein, three records are maintained by the company, wherein the first is bin card. Next is stock control card. And the third one is stores ledger. I repeat again, guys. Very good morning to all of you very good morning to all who have joined a bit late. We have started with the first part of this lecture now, wherein we will be discussing what all records the company has to maintain or the storekeeper has to maintain to ensure that there is no theft and misutilization or unauthorized utilization of stock. So herein, the company do maintain three types of records, that is bin card, stock control card, and stores ledger. Now these two cards are maintained by the storekeeper. These two cards, that is bin card and stock control card, are the cards that are maintained by the storekeeper, and it contains quantitative data only. And it contains quantitative data only. Quantitative data relating to receipt or issue or return of material. I repeat again, guys, bin card and stock control card. First and the foremost thing, who maintains these two cards? The storekeeper. Second point, it contains only the quantitative data. कि कितने units आए, कितने units गए और कितने units return हुए. Now, when talking about the stores ledger, it is maintained by the company's accounting department. Further, these stores ledger contained quantitative data as well as the data in financial terms. That is, कितना quantity आया, क्या value का quantity आया, plus कितना quantity issue किया and क्या value का quantity issue किया. That all is maintained in stores ledger. So this is maintained by the accounting department and contain quantitative data and monetary data. Relating to receipt, issue, or return of material. Now the point is, what is the difference between bin card and stock control card? The question is ki bhai, this bin card and stock control card only is maintained by the storekeeper. Further, it contains only the quantitative data. Now the point is, what is the difference between bin card and stock control card? When talking about bin card, a bin represent a particular space or a container. What bin represent? A space or a container. Let's say I have taken a premise on rent and there are total 10 sections in that premise. So my point, I repeat again, guys, I have taken a premise on rent and there are 10 sections in that premise. So each section will be treated as a separate bin. And for that separate bin, a separate bin card is to be maintained containing the details of receipt, issue, and return of material of that bin. I repeat again, guys, when talking about bin represents a space or a container. Bin represents a space or a container. For that particular space, the storekeeper do maintain a card that is known as the bin card. So I have taken a premise on rent and there are total 10 sections. So each section will be treated as a separate bin and a separate bin card is maintained for every bin. But when talking about the stock control card, कि भाई व्हाट इज स्टॉक कंट्रोल कार्ड, तो वो जो पूरे प्रीमाइस का डिटेल्स है, दैट इज ऑफ ऑल द 10 बिल्स, सो पूरे प्रीमाइस का जो डिटेल्स है वो आपको स्टॉक कंट्रोल कार्ड में दिखेगा कि पूरे प्रीमाइस में कितना मटेरियल रिसीव्ड हुआ, कितना मटेरियल इशू हुआ और कितना मटेरियल रिटर्न हुआ. So that is all what about the records the storekeeper or the company has to maintain. If you guys have any doubts, queries, you guys can ask me, waiting for your queries. In the meanwhile, I suggest you guys to please copy this part. Very good morning, Vimal. Very good morning, Dhyanesh. Very good, dear. I request you guys to please copy this part. We have discussed for the students who have joined a bit late, we are discussing the records that are maintained by the company wherein bin card, stock control card and stores ledger card, wherein bin card and stock control card contains only the quantitative data and it is maintained by the storekeeper, whereas this ledger is maintained by the company. When talking about the difference between bin card and stock control card, bin represents a container, a space. So let's say I've taken a premise on rent wherein there are total 10 sections. So for every section will be treated as a separate bin and a separate bin card is maintained for that space. When talking about stock control card, पूरे premise में जो भी stock है उसका details जो है वो stock control card में रहता है. Miss Sri Sai Srujana, no, I have not received any of your comments. So very good morning. See, the data of all bin card will be recorded in stock control card. Bin card क्या होता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर स्पेस के लिए कार्ड बनता है, जबकि ये पूरी प्रेमाइस में जो भी स्टॉक है उसका कार्ड होता है स्टॉक कंट्रोल कार्ड. सो द डेटा ऑफ ऑल द बिन कार्ड विल बी देयर इन स्टॉक कंट्रोल कार्ड. ध्यानेश, yes, it contains the quantitative data as well as the monetary data, that is money terms में कितना कॉस्ट का मटेरियल आया, कितना कॉस्ट का मटेरियल इशू हुआ. So this stores ledger contain the quantitative data as well as the data in monetary terms also. So I hope your query is resolved, Jyoti. हाँ जी ज्योति, वैल्यू भी होता है इसमें, सिर्फ इसमें वैल्यू होता है. बिन कार्ड और स्टॉक कंट्रोल कार्ड में सिर्फ क्वांटिटी होता है, इसमें क्वांटिटी भी होता है और वैल्यू भी होता है. Manoj Kumar Thakur, nowadays most of the things are paperless. Now, guys, we are done with the first three part of the chapter. In the last session, we finished procedure for procurement of material, thereafter valuation of inventory, and the third part, that is what all the records the storekeeper or the company has to maintain. Now, let's proceed further with the next part of the chapter, the most important part of the chapter. इस चैप्टर में मैक्सिमम टाइम एग्जाम्स में से क्वेश्चन पूछा, इस चैप्टर में जो मैक्सिमम टाइम एग्जाम्स में क्वेश्चन आता है फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन ओनली, दैट इज इन्वेंटरी कंट्रोल. सो इट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ द चैप्टर. Inventory control. So let's start. Yes, Mr. Aslam, I'll be discussing, don't worry. So now, what is inventory control, guys? Inventory control ensures that we do retain sufficient amount of stock in our stores so that our active production is not interrupted, further avoiding any sort of overstocking. I repeat again, what is inventory control? Inventory control ensures that there is sufficient stock in our stores. Sufficient stock is retained in our stores so that active production is not interrupted. Avoiding overstocking. So इन्वेंट्री कंट्रोल इंश्योर करता है कि हमारे पास सफिशिएंट स्टॉक है स्टोर्स में ताकि हमारा एक्टिव प्रोडक्शन इंटरप्ट ना हो, बट फर्दर कीपिंग इन माइंड दैट दे अवॉइड ओवरस्टॉकिंग, कहीं ज्यादा स्टॉक तो नहीं हो रहा है. सो दीज टू थिंग्स द इन्वेंट्री कंट्रोल इंश्योर्स. नाउ how these two things, how to achieve these two things, there are various techniques in inventory control we'll be discussing. When talking about the techniques of inventory control, it covers setting quantitative levels. Setting up quantitative levels. कुछ level set कर लीजिए कि this could be the maximum stock, this could be the minimum stock. How to set these quantitative levels we'll be discussing. Thereafter, we'll be discussing on the basis of relative classification. The one more technique of inventory control is via ratio analysis. And the last part is physical control. So these all are the various techniques of inventory control. I repeat again, what inventory control do? It ensures that we do retain sufficient amount of stock in our stores so that our active production is not interrupted. Further, ये भी ध्यान रखा जाता है कि there should not be any sort of overstocking of stock. So these are the various techniques we'll be discussing one by one, but very important, guys. From examination point of view, most of the time the examiner do ask question only from setting quantitative levels. So in today's session, most of the part will be covering this part only, that is setting quantitative levels. These three parts are comparatively very easy and more related to theory, but this part covers most of the practical questions in this chapter. So the most important part, plus you will find all the practical questions from this part only. So I request you guys to please copy. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can post your queries. Thereafter, we'll start with setting quantitative levels. Okay, Miss Shruti. Miss Preeti Gupta, very good morning. Now, let's start with the most important part. As I said, setting quantitative levels. You have to set up few levels or standards. Now, what all we'll be discussing in this part, that is, first and the foremost point, what we will be discussing in this part is ki order kitna karna hai, how much quantity we should order so that we do have sufficient stock in our stores, plus there is no overstocking of stock. So how much quantity we should order. So the first part in this setting quantitative levels we'll be discussing is what? The first part, that is order kitna karna hai, how much quantity we should order, what should be the reorder quantity. The second part, when to order. अच्छा, order कितना करना है, we have identified. Now order कब करना है, when to order, we call it as the reorder level. Thereafter we'll be discussing how much should be the maximum stock in our stores. How much should be the maximum stock in our stores, we call it as the maximum level. How much should be, thereafter we'll be discussing the minimum level, that is how much minimum stock we should have. Thereafter two more points. Thereafter, one more point, average stock, that is the average of maximum and minimum. Thereafter, danger level stock, ki bhai, us stock pe aake we have to control. I mean, we have to meet the only the emergency demand of the, we can say, vendors. So danger level also we'll be discussing. Thereafter, the buffer stock, we do keep extra stock that can be used only in exceptional situation. So these all are the points we'll be discussing one by one. That is how much quantity to order. That is what we call as reorder quantity. When to order, that is reorder level. Thereafter maximum level, minimum level, average level, and thereafter the danger level and the buffer stock. So we will be discussing all these points one by one. So guys, let's start with the first point of setting quantitative levels. That is how much quantity to order. We call it as the reorder quantity. कितना quantity order करना है, that is what we call as the reorder quantity. So guys, let's start. Now, let's say my annual requirement of raw material is 10,000 units. I repeat again, my annual requirement of raw material is 10,000 units. अब अगर मैं ये 10,000 units एक साथ order कर देता हूं, my annual requirement is of 10,000 units. It means what? From 1st Jan to 31st December, I'll be using 10,000 units. Now the point is, let's say I place an order to my supplier for 10,000 units and I've received 10,000 units. Now the point is, there are n number of costs will be incurred to handle this inventory. N number of costs will be incurred to handle this inventory. क्या cost incur हो सकती है? First of all, मैंने एक साथ 10,000 units order कर दिए, तो I have to take a premise on rent. So the first point, rent expenditure मेरा बढ़ जाएगा. Second thing, since so much of stock is involved, so there are chances of obsolescence, pilferage, theft, and damages. So again, ये भी एक बड़ा point है. Third point, since I have ordered 10,000 units in one go, so ये जो 10,000 units का payment है मुझे supplier को immediately करना पड़ेगा. So my funds are blocked for the entire year for this 10,000 units. So I won't be able to enjoy the benefit of whatever the amount that is paid to the supplier for a year. So we can say there is an opportunity cost of interest also. So when you order all the units in one go, there are n number of costs that is incurred to handle the inventory. We can call it as a handling cost, or we can call it as a carrying cost. So if we order all these 10,000 units in one go, we have to incur certain cost. We call it as the carrying cost. That is cost of handling the inventory. Cost of handling the inventory. So it means what? If we order or annual requirement in one go, my carrying cost, that is cost of handling the inventory, will shoot up like anything. When talking about carrying cost examples, it covers the rent of warehouse. Second point, we can say interest cost, the opportunity cost. If we have borrowed fund from the market, then interest we have to pay. If we have our own fund, then the opportunity cost, that is in the form of interest. Thereafter, there are chances of pilferage. Pilferage and obsolescence or theft. So these are the cost of handling the inventories. So the point is, it is not advisable to order for the to order 10,000 units in one go. पूरे साल का जो भी requirement है, it is not advisable to order in one go because my carrying cost will shoot up like anything. Now the point is, चलो कोई बात नहीं, installments में order करते हैं. Why can't we order in installments? कभी 500 units order कर दो, कभी 1,000 units order कर दो, depending upon the requirement of the production department. So the point is, guys, do make a note of it that every time you place an order, जब कभी भी आप order place करते हैं, there are again some set of costs that will be incurred. As we have discussed earlier also, that in the material procurement process also, that n number of documents need to be prepared for procurement of material. So what I want to say is कि अगर आप एक बार order करते हैं तो there are separate set of costs that will be incurred. The first cost we can call it as the documentation cost. अच्छा, as and when we place an order, वो goods जब हमारी premise में आएगा तो transportation cost भी incur हो जाएगा separate. Further, as and when the material is received in our factory, we have to carry out the inspection that the product is as per our specification or not. So we can say inspection cost bhi ho jayega. Apart from this, if the product is of a bit risky nature, we do make that transit insurance also. So every time you place an order, transiting insurance का भी खर्चा बढ़ जाएगा. So the point is, if you place an order in one go, my cost of handling the inventory will shoot up. But if you order in installments, all these costs we call as the ordering cost. That is the cost to place an order. What is ordering cost? The cost to place an order. अगर बहुत ज्यादा इंस्टॉलमेंट्स में हम लोग ऑर्डर करते हैं तो फॉर एवरी ऑर्डर देयर आर सर्टेन कॉस्ट दैट विल बी इनकर्ड. सो बहुत ज्यादा अगर इंस्टॉलमेंट्स में ऑर्डर करेंगे तो माय ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट विल शूट अप. नाउ द प्रॉब्लम इज कैसे ऑर्डर करें. इफ यू ऑर्डर इन वन गो, कैरिंग कॉस्ट विल शूट अप. अगर बहुत ज्यादा इंस्टॉलमेंट्स हो जाएगी तो माय ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट विल शूट अप. नाउ व्हाट टू डू? How much quantity we should order so that to keep in check or ordering cost as well as carrying cost. My question is, how much quantity we should order so that our carrying cost and ordering cost is minimum. हम लोग कितनी क्वांटिटी ऑर्डर करें कि हमारी कैरिंग कॉस्ट भी कम से कम लगे और ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट भी कम से कम लगे? द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज हाउ मच क्वांटिटी इज माय रीऑर्डर क्वांटिटी. So reorder quantity is that level of, reorder quantity is that much quantity of order wherein my ordering cost is also minimum and carrying cost is also minimum. Now the point is how to calculate reorder quantity. We'll be discussing in detail. In the meanwhile, I suggest you guys to please copy this part. We have discussed that for calculating reorder quantity, two costs comes into picture, that is the ordering cost and carrying cost. When talking about carrying cost is the cost of handling the inventory. I have mentioned the examples of carrying cost. When talking about ordering cost to place an order. As and when every time you place an order, kuch cost incur hogi. So this is what we call as the ordering cost. Now, reorder quantity is that level of quantity wherein my ordering cost is also minimum and carrying cost is also minimum. If you guys have any doubts in ordering cost, carrying cost, reorder quantity, you guys can ask me. In the meanwhile, I suggest you guys to please copy this part. Miss Sri Sai Sarjuna, the person who maintains the records is the storekeeper. That is the person who maintains the record of bin card and stock control card is the storekeeper. Well said, Sunil Kumar. Every time you place an order, ordering cost will be incurred. So, ज़्यादा installments में भी order नहीं कर सकते. Now, once the order is received, we do have to handle the inventory. So, this is what we call as the carrying cost. That is cost to handle the inventory. Yes, as I said, Dhyanesh, that every time you place an order, कुछ तो cost incur होगी. But yes, to check, to control the overall cost, अगर आप एक बार में order करेंगे तो ordering cost बहुत कम होगी. But yes, your ordering cost will be less, but your carrying cost will be more. So guys, let's start with the next part, that is how to calculate economic order quantity or reorder quantity. Now guys, for calculation of economic order quantity or reorder quantity, three elements are required. For calculating economic order quantity or reorder quantity, or we have to determine that how much quantity we should order, three elements are required. The first element that is required is what? my annual consumption of raw material. Very important point, guys. The first point, the first element that is required is what? My annual consumption. I am marking it in red. I have marked it in red. Why? Because we do require annual consumption to find out how much should be the economic order quantity. So कई बार क्वेश्चन में क्या होता है, आपको मंथली डेटा दिया हुआ होता है और वीकली कंजम्पशन दिया होता है. यू हैव टू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू द एनुअल डेटा. सो द फर्स्ट एलिमेंट दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड इज द एनुअल कंजम्पशन. अगेन आई हैव मार्क्ड इट इन रेड. एनुअल, इट शुड बी एनुअल. इफ इन इंफॉर्मेशन वीकली कंजम्पशन is given or daily consumption is given, then you have to convert it into annual. Now the next element that is required is what? Carrying cost per unit per annum. Second element जो आपको चाहिए for calculating EOQ, we do require carrying cost. Again, it should always be per unit and per annum. The words that are marked in red is very important. Again, to confuse you guys, examiner कई बार क्या करता है, per month data दे देता है या कुछ भी दे देता है. So you have to convert it into per unit and per annum. The next element what we do require is what? The ordering cost. Per order. Again, the important point is what? The per order part. So these are the three elements that are required for calculating economic order quantity. First element, annual consumption. The consumption what we should have is the annual consumption for calculating EOQ. Second thing, carrying cost. It should always be per unit per annum to calculate EOQ. And thereafter, ordering cost, it should always be per order for calculating EOQ. Now, let's discuss how to calculate economic order quantity or reorder quantity या फिर order कितना करना है. Let's discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say my annual requirement or annual consumption is 10,000 units. My carrying cost per unit per annum is rupees 16. My ordering cost per order is, let's say, rupees 50. So this is the data that is given in the question, that cost of handling the inventory is 0.16, 16 paisa per annum per unit. Ordering cost, every time you place an order, there is a cost that is associated, that is rupees 50 per order, and my annual requirement of the raw material is 10,000 units. Now the question is, कितना order करें कि my ordering cost is also minimum and carrying cost is also minimum. एक साथ 10,000 units order नहीं कर सकते. Second thing, बहुत ज़्यादा installments में order नहीं कर सकते. So the question is how to calculate reorder quantity. So let's use, guys, the hit and trial approach. Hit and trial approach करते हैं and इलिस्ट्रेटिव बेसिस पे कुछ क्वांटिटीज लेते हैं कि भाई ये क्वांटिटी पे कितना कॉस्ट आता है, ये क्वांटिटी पे कितना कॉस्ट आता है, ये क्वांटिटी पे कितना कॉस्ट होता है. So let's use the trial and error approach. What if in case if I order 1,000 units in one go, What if in case if I order 2,500 units in one go? What if in case if I order 7,500 units in one go? And what if in case if I order 5,000 units in one go? And what if in case if I order 10,000 units in one go? Let's follow the hit and trial approach. हम लोग अलग अलग क्वांटिटी रैंडम बेसिस पे ले रहे हैं कि भाई इतना ऑर्डर करें तो लेट्स सी हाउ मच इज द ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट एंड कैरिंग कॉस्ट। इतना क्वांटिटी ऑर्डर कर रहे हैं तो हाउ मच इज द ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट एंड कैरिंग कॉस्ट। एंड एट द एंड अगर एंटायर 10,000 यूनिट्स एक साथ ऑर्डर कर देते हैं तो हाउ मच व्हाट इज द इंपैक्ट ऑन ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट एंड कैरिंग कॉस्ट। सो लेट्स यूज द हिट एंड ट्रायल अप्रोच। Now, guys, as I told you, that reorder quantity is that level of quantity wherein our carrying cost is also minimum and ordering cost is also minimum. So, my point is these two costs are only relevant for calculating economic order quantity. The amount that is paid to the supplier for annual consumption is anyways to be paid. आज पे करो कल पे करो उसको पे तो करना ही है. So it is not at all relevant कि आपको ऑर्डर कितना करना है. So only these two costs are relevant, that is ordering cost and carrying cost. Assuming supplier हमें कोई भी क्वांटिटी डिस्काउंट नहीं देता है, आप 500 यूनिट्स भी ऑर्डर करो या 10,000 यूनिट्स भी ऑर्डर करो, he is going to charge the same amount. So this cost, that is the cost of annual consumption, that is the amount what we are paying to the supplier, is completely irrelevant. मेजर कॉस्ट जो रिलेवेंट है वो है कैरिंग कॉस्ट, बिकॉज एक साथ ऑर्डर कर देंगे तो हमारी कैरिंग कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो जाएगी और बहुत ज्यादा इंस्टॉलमेंट्स में ऑर्डर कर देंगे तो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो जाएगी. सो द point of decision making is what? The carrying cost and ordering cost. So now these are the various situations what I have mentioned. Now let's calculate the ordering cost and carrying cost in these situations. कि ordering cost कितना हो रहा है या carrying cost कितना हो रहा है. Now let's first calculate the ordering cost. Now see, my annual requirement is of 10,000 units. मेरा annual requirement है Yes, Mr. Jasha. Yes, Mr. Aslam. Have some patience. So now my annual requirement is of 10,000 units and I place an order every time for 1,000 units. So how many times I have to place an order? 10 times. एक बार में हम लोग 1,000 यूनिट्स ऑर्डर करते हैं तो टोटल हमारा रिक्वायरमेंट 10,000 यूनिट्स का है. तो हाउ मेनी टाइम्स वी हैव टू प्लेस एन ऑर्डर? 10 टाइम्स. So number of orders will prepare a separate column. This is order quantity. In this case, my annual requirement is 10,000 units, and in one order, I do place an order in one go for 2,500 units. It means what? How many times the order need to be placed? 4 times. In this case, 2 orders we have to place, and in this case, we are ordering 10,000 units in one go. So only one order we have to place. So now we can easily calculate the ordering cost. It is given in the question that the cost to place an order is ₹50. So here in this case, we are placing 10 orders. So my ordering cost will be how much? 500. In this case, we are placing total 4 orders. So my ordering cost will be how much? 200. In this case, we are placing only 2 orders. So my ordering cost will be how much? 100. And in this case, we are placing all the quantity. We are placing the order of 10,000 units in one go or annual consumption in one go. So only one order need to be placed. So my ordering cost will be ₹50. So देखिए, herein जैसे जैसे number of installments increase हो रहा है, my ordering cost is increasing. Very good, Dhyanesh. Now the second element that is relevant to calculate the economic order quantity is what? The carrying cost. That is cost of handling the inventory. Now, guys, 1 second, give me a break, water break, please. Now, let's start with the next element, that is how to calculate carrying cost. Now, let's take the first situation. What if I order 1000 units in one go? I will receive 1000 units. So carrying cost किस पे लगेगा? 1000 units पे लगेगा 0.60. But my point is, this 16 paisa is what? Per unit per annum. तो क्या पूरे साल पर ये 1000 units पे ही लगता रहेगा? No. Because as soon as the stock is received in the store, they will be issued to production. कभी 20 issue होगा, कभी 50 issue होगा, फिर कभी 100 issue होगा. So ये जो stock है हमारा 1000 units का, ये reduce होता जाएगा. आज अगर ये 1000 units पे 16 पैसा लगा है, तो कल ये 800 पे भी लग सकता है, कल ये 500 पे भी लग सकता है, कल ये 100 पे भी लग सकता है, और बाद में किस पे लग सकता है? 0 पे. So ये 16 पैसा थ्रू आउट द ईयर 1000 यूनिट्स पे नहीं लगेगा. आज अगर ये 1000 यूनिट्स पे लग रहा है, तो फ्यूचर में ये 500 पे भी लग सकता है, और फिर 0 पे भी लग सकता है. तो माय पॉइंट इज इट एथिकली करेक्ट टू चार्ज कैरिंग कॉस्ट ऑन एंटायर 1000? नो, बिकॉज आज ये 1000 पे लग रहा है, तो फ्यूचर में 0 पे भी लग सकता है. तो द पॉइंट इज कैरिंग कॉस्ट किस पे कैलकुलेट करें. सो द बेस्ट अप्रोच इज यूज द एवरेज. दैट इज, अगर ये आज 1000 पे लग रहा है 16 पैसा, तो कल ये किस पे लगेगा? 0 पे भी लगेगा. सो डिवाइडेड बाय 2. सो इन शॉर्ट, 1000 plus 0 divided by 2, that is 500 into 0.60. So this will be, 1 second guys. So in this case, my carrying cost is 80. So carrying cost is always calculated at average inventory. Why average inventory? Because ये जो 1000 units मैंने order किए, आज carrying cost 1000 units पे लग रहा है, but in future it will apply to 0 units also, or 100 units also, or 50 units also. So let's better take it as an average and calculate the carrying cost. So in the second case, 2500 divided by 2 into 0.60. So this will be 200. 5000 divided by 2 into 0.60. 400. 10,000 divided by 2 into 0.60. 800. So the point is very simple, guys. The carrying cost is always calculated on average inventory. Why? I have already explained. So we can say carrying cost is always calculated on average inventory. Do make a note of it. Carrying cost is always calculated at average inventory. The words that are marked in red आप अपने notebook में bold में लिख लीजिएगा, because these points are very 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 important while solving the question. आपको examiner confuse करने के लिए कुछ भी दे सकता है, but stick to your concept. You will be able to solve the question. So now we can see that अगर हम लोग large quantity में order करते हैं, my carrying cost is high. But if we order in small quantity, we can say my carrying cost is low. So now let's calculate the total cost, 500 plus 80. If we order 1000 units, my carrying cost and ordering cost is 580. If we order 2,500 units, my ordering and carrying cost is how much? In total, 400. 100 plus 400, 500 and 850. So at this point, my cost is minimum. So we can say it is advisable to order 2,500 units in one go. I repeat again, at point of 2,500 units, my ordering cost plus carrying cost, my total cost is minimum. So it is advisable to order 2,500 units in one go, because at this point, my overall cost is minimum. Further, you guys can see that there is an inverse relationship between ordering cost and carrying cost. अगर ordering cost एक point पे बढ़ रहा है, तो carrying cost कम भी हो रहा है. So at a particular point, wherein ordering cost and carrying cost are minimum, that is the economic order quantity. Further, we can see that at economic order quantity, ordering cost is equals to carrying cost. At economic order quantity, there are 2 points. First point, the total cost is minimum. Second point, ordering cost is equals to carrying cost. So, we can write also that at economic order quantity, ordering cost is equals to carrying cost. And second point, my total cost is minimum. So I hope you guys are clear that how to calculate economic order quantity. Guys, I'll be discussing the formula also that is given in the study material, but how this formula is derived, why we are doing this, what is the reason behind this formula, that also need to be discussed. So that's why I have done all this exercise to make you understand that costing is, there are no formulas in costing. Everything is based on concept. If you are thorough with the concept, you can frame formulas on your own. So if you guys want to copy this explanation, you guys can please copy. Thereafter, we'll see, I'll teach you guys that how to derive the formula. जो book में study material में जो formula दिया है, ये formula कैसे बना, how to derive the formula, that we will be discussing. In the meanwhile, I suggest you guys that why ordering cost is equals to carrying cost, wherein the total cost is equal. So please, I suggest you guys to please copy this explanation. Further, the letters that are marked in red, I request you guys to write it in bold in your notebook. It will be very helpful for you to remember while solving the questions. Please copy, guys. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Very good, Mr. Aslam. Yes, Sunil Kumar, this explanation is regarding the derivation of formula. No need to do all this exercise in exams. It's how to derive the formula, why ordering cost is equals to carrying cost, and all this explanation is covered in this explanation. Anyone having any doubts? What is carrying cost? What is ordering cost? Why there is an inverse relationship? You can see, guys, that ordering cost either come or it is reducing. But carrying cost, we can say it is increasing. So there is an inverse relationship between carrying cost and ordering cost. एक certain point पे जब जहां दोनों बराबर हो जाता है, that is what we call as economic order quantity. Waiting for your queries, guys. I hope, Miss Jyoti, you have copied. Very good, Abdul. Any doubts, Dhyanesh? Okay, Miss Shruti, sir, please tell how to calculate ordering cost. See, Shruti. See, my annual requirement is of 10,000 units and I am placing an order of 1,000 units in one go. So how many times the order need to be placed? I repeat again, मेरा annual requirement है 10,000 units का, and in one order, if I place an order, I order it for 1,000 units. So 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 करके how many times I have to place an order? Very simple, 10. Now the ordering cost per order is 50 rupees per order. So एक order का cost कितना आता है? 50. And how many times we have to place an order? 10 times. So my ordering cost will be how much? 500. No, Mr. Vora, your questions are not visible. It is more or less the same only. It is same only, Jyoti. So now let's proceed further with the preparation or derivation of formula. How this formula is derived. No worries, Shruti. So now, as we have already discussed, that at economic order quantity, ordering cost is equals to carrying cost. Further, as I told you, three elements are required. That is annual consumption. Let's call it as A. Ordering cost. Let's call it as O. And carrying cost. These are the three elements that are required in calculating EOQ. So let's call it as C. So at economic order quantity, ordering cost is equals to carrying cost. Now, how we calculate ordering cost? Very simple, guys. Let's say my annual requirement was 10,000 units. And if I place an order of 1,000 units, how many order? 10 orders. Into the ordering cost, that is what we did to calculate ordering cost. So what we actually did, annual consumption is 10,000. We have marked it as A. Divided by 1,000 is what? My order quantity. So let's write it OQ. Into 50. 50 is what? My ordering cost. So into O. This is how we calculate the ordering cost. When talking about carrying cost, my order quantity was how much? 1,000. We have calculated the carrying cost on average inventory. So divided by 2 into carrying cost per unit. That is 0.16. So again, how to calculate carrying cost? Order quantity divided by 2 into C. So now let's simplify this equation. Cross multiplication, very simple, guys. 2 into A into O is equals to OQ square. OQ into OQ is OQ square into C. Thereafter, 2 into A into O, the C goes down. So divided by C is equals to OQ square. And finally, removing the square, OQ is equals to 2 into A into O divided by C under root. So this is the formula that is given in the study material, and how this formula is derived now I have completed. So here in the same question we are taking, that is my annual consumption was 10,000 units. My ordering cost was rupees 50 per order and my carrying cost was 0.16. So let's put up these figures in this formula. So 2 into my annual consumption 10,000 into my ordering cost is how much? 50 divided by 0.60. So if you calculate this, if you solve this question, equation 2 into 10,000 into 50 divided by 0.16 under root. So the final answer will be 2,500 units. That is my EOQ. So this is all what about EOQ. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries. From examination point of view, when you see this question, simply write the formula and solve the question. How this formula is prepared, I have discussed it in detail. So whatever your queries are, I'm waiting for your queries. Even you guys have any minor doubts or whatever the doubts, please post your queries, because I'm going to put up a question in front of you and I want you guys to solve. Let's see who solves first. So giving you 2 minutes time to first copy this part, second to post your queries. Whatever the queries you have, don't feel shy, just post your queries. Whatever your questions are, I'll answer your questions. Don't worry. Okay. Mr. Mastan Wali, sir, please explain how to calculate the carrying cost. Very simple. Order quantity, let's say in the first situation, my order quantity was 1,000. We do calculate the carrying cost on average inventory. Why? I have already discussed. So my average quantity will be 500 into my carrying cost per unit, that is 0.16. So this is how the carrying cost is calculated. ओके मिस ज्योति सर फॉर्मूला कैसे डिराइव हुआ समझ में नहीं आया. सो ज्योति सी एट ईओक्यू ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट इज इक्वल्स टू कैरिंग कॉस्ट. ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट हम कैसे निकालते थे? वेरी सिंपल. लेट्स टेक द फर्स्ट सिचुएशन. आई एम रिपीटिंग अगेन फॉर मिस ज्योति कि भाई फर्स्ट सिचुएशन में हमारा ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी कितना था? 1000. सॉरी, ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी कितना था? 1000 और हमारा एनुअल रिक्वायरमेंट कितना था? 10,000 डिवाइडेड बाय 1000. तो हम लोगों ने इंस्टॉलमेंट्स निकाली थी कि भाई टोटल 10 इंस्टॉलमेंट्स में वी हैव टू ऑर्डर इफ वी वांट टू मीट आवर एनुअल रिक्वायरमेंट इनटू 50 ordering cost per order. This is how we calculated the ordering cost in first situation. So the same concept we do apply here. 10,000 is what my annual requirement. 10,000 is my annual requirement. Order quantity was 1,000 in the first case into 10,000 divided by 1,000 into O. That is my ordering cost. So A divided by OQ into O. When talking about carrying cost, as I told you, carrying cost is always calculated on average quantity. So 1,000 is my order quantity divided by 2. Order quantity divided by 2 into 0.16 is what my carrying cost. So annual consumption divided by order quantity into O is my ordering cost. And carrying cost is OQ divided by 2. That is the order quantity divided by 2. We do calculate the average order quantity into C. Now cross multiply कर दीजिए. So 2 ऊपर चला जाएगा, OQ इधर इस तरफ चला जाएगा. So 2 into A into O. Actually आपकी better understanding के लिए हम लोग ऐसे रख देते. So 2 into A into O is equals to OQ square into C. अब C जो है नीचे चला जाएगा is equals to OQ square, and once you remove the square on the other side it should be root. So this is how the formula is derived. Thank you so much, Kanchan. It's my duty to teach you guys. So whatever the queries you have, you guys can post. Thank you so much again, Kanchan. Mr. Dhyanesh, I think you were sleeping or what? I discussed that why carrying cost is calculated on average inventory. I do expect you guys to please pay attention, Dhyanesh. Specifically, you are the active participant, my dear. See, I'm explaining it again for you. Why carrying cost is always calculated on average inventory. Let's say I have placed an order of 1,000 units and आज मुझे 1,000 units मिल गया. So carrying cost आज 1,000 units पे लगेगा, but पूरे time के लिए 1,000 units पे नहीं लगेगा, because ये 1,000 units जो हमें receive हुआ है, that will be issued to production in small quantities. कभी 50 issue होगा production department को, या कभी 80 होगा, कभी 100 होगा. So the stock of 1000 will gradually reduce to 0. So किस क्वांटिटी पे कैरिंग कॉस्ट कैलकुलेट करें? So the best approach is what? Take the average, that is 1000. आज है तो फ्यूचर में 0 भी होगा, तो 1000 plus 0 divided by 2 into 0.16. ध्यानेश, thank you so much, Mr. Palan. Yes, Manoj Kumar. I request you guys to please copy this part. Dhyanesh, hopefully your doubt is resolved, my dear. Thank you so much, Mr. Dalip. Mohammad Vora, where is your... So can you please summarize again? It will take lots and lots of time, my dear. I request you to please check the pre-recorded lecture. After this class, you'll be able to understand, because I've prepared a table to explain that where the order quantity, where the ordering cost is equals to carrying cost, Mr. Vora. Thank you so much, Jyoti. We'll surely try to, my dear. Chalo, let's proceed further, guys. Now, my hard work is over now. It's the time from you guys to pay back. There is a question for you guys. I request you guys to please solve this question. But before starting with this question, let me discuss one question of study material for more clarity. Thereafter, I'll put up a question in front of you. So, I request you guys to please open your study material. Let me discuss at least one or two questions, then I'll put up a question in front of you. I'm discussing illustration number 5 of study material. I request you guys to please open the study material. I'll be discussing illustration number 5 of study material. I request you guys to please open the study material. जिसके पास hard copy है वो open कीजिए, else download from BOS portal, please. Let's start with illustration number 5. The first question is compute economic order quantity and total cost for the following. The question is that you have to compute economic order quantity and the total cost for the following. Now see, the annual demand is given. The annual demand is given in the question, that is 5,000 units. Which were purchased at the rate 20 rupees per unit. Further, ordering cost per order is rupees 16. When talking about carrying cost, it is given storage cost. Storage cost is a type of carrying cost. Interest cost, I have already explained that interest cost is also a carrying cost. And obsolescence rate 6%, that is also a carrying cost. So 2% plus 12% plus 6%, that is 18%. Sorry, 2% plus 12% plus 6%, that is 20% is the carrying cost. 2% plus 12% plus 6% is my carrying cost. So overall it is 20%. and 20% is the carrying cost of the unit price. That is, my unit price is 20 rupees, rupees 20 into 20%. I repeat again, carrying cost should always be per unit per annum. So my unit price is 20 into 20%. So my carrying cost will be rupees 4 per unit per annum. So now let's calculate economic order quantity. The formula, how this formula is derived, I have already discussed. 2 into A into O upon C. हमारे पास सारी information है, so we have to simply place the information in the formula. So under root 2 into A, my annual consumption is 5,000 unit, into O, my ordering cost is 16 rupees per unit, divided by my carrying cost, that is 4. So 2 into 5,000 into 16 divided by 4 under root. So 200 is my economic order quantity. So it's a very simple approach. Simply apply the formula and solve the question. But be clear, be very specific. Read the question carefully. कई जगह इंफॉर्मेशन आपको पर डे भी दे सकते हैं, कई जगह पर मंथ भी हो सकता है, और वीकली इंफॉर्मेशन. You have to convert it in the way what I have discussed. So now the next part is we have to calculate the total cost in this case. Calculation of total cost. So annual consumption is how many units? 5,000 units, which are purchased at the rate 20. So 1 lakh. Now when talking about my ordering cost, see, my annual consumption is of how many units? 5,000 units. And every time we place an order of only 200 units. So how many times the order need to be placed? Very simple, my annual requirement is 5,000 units. एक बार में हम 200 यूनिट ऑर्डर प्लेस कर सकते हैं. So 25 times we need to place an order into the ordering cost per unit, that is 16. So this will be 400. When talking about carrying cost, as I told you, carrying cost is always calculated at average inventory. So when talking about inventory, we will place an order of 200 units and will receive 200 units. So the average inventory will be how much? 200 divided by 2. So this will be the average inventory into ordering cost per order is how much? 4. Sorry, carrying cost per unit is how much? 4. So this will be 400. So the total cost will be 1,00800. And herein we can see ordering cost is equals to carrying cost. Further, there are formulas also given in study material, but I think now there is no need to remember the formula, but still writing it for your reference. When talking about ordering cost, how we do calculate the ordering cost? That is annual requirement divided by reorder quantity or order quantity into ordering cost per order. And when talking about carrying cost, that is my order quantity divided by 2 into C. So this is the formula also given in study material, but I suggest you guys no need to remember the formula if you guys are thorough with the concept. If you guys have any doubts in this question, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries, guys. Kavita Chandak. Sir, interest rate carrying cost कैसे होता है? See, Kavita, let's say if I place an order of 10,000 units in one go, and let's say the price of per unit is 100 rupees. It means what? 10 lakh rupees I have to pay one time to the supplier. अगर आज मैंने 10,000 units order किया है, even though that too also considering that let's say he is giving me a credit for 30 days. बट 30 डेज के बाद मुझे 10,000 यूनिट्स का 10 लाख पेमेंट इमीडिएटली करना पड़ेगा. बट लेट्स से यू ऑर्डर इन स्मॉल क्वांटिटी, सो जैसे ही क्वांटिटी मिलेगा उसके रिलेटेड ही आपको पेमेंट करना पड़ेगा. दैट्स व्हाई वी कैन से और फंड्स आर ब्लॉक्ड फॉर द एंटायर ईयर on these 10,000 units. So we can say there is an opportunity cost of interest, or if we have borrowed fund and purchased the material, we have to pay actually the interest. That's why interest cost is the carrying cost. See Dilip Rathod. Sir, please explain the relationship between price per unit and carrying cost percentage to calculate the carrying cost. As I've told you very clearly, guys, carrying cost should be per unit per annum. So here in the carrying cost per unit, carrying cost should be per unit per annum. So now my per unit cost is how much? Per unit cost is rupees 20 for the raw material. Now it is given in the question, that the storage cost is 2% per annum. Now 2% of what? The value of raw material. Further, it is given that interest rate is 12%. 12% of what? The value of raw material. Interest किस पे लगेगा? वो amount जो हम supplier को pay करेंगे. So supplier को per unit कितना pay कर रहे हैं? 20. तो उसके ऊपर interest कितना होगा? 2.4. So this is what the relationship between per unit price and carrying cost percentage. I hope your doubt is resolved, Dilip. Manoj Kumar, that's why you are studying in class. You are studying, you are listening to my lecture. So that is the information that is given in study material is more than sufficient. Rest you have to read, study to derive the formula. Thank you so much, Manoj Kumar. Thank you so much, Priyanka. Now, guys, it's the time for a payback. I'm giving you, if you guys have any doubts in this EOQ part, you guys can still ask me, giving you last 2 minutes. Thereafter, I'll be putting a question in front of you, and I do expect each and every of my students should be able to answer it correctly. I request you guys to please copy this part. Thank you so much, Dhyanesh. So let's start, guys. There is a question for you. As I told you, reach each and every point of the question carefully and then proceed for the solution. ऐसा नहीं कि first आने के चक्कर में answer गलत हो. I want a correct answer from each and every one of you guys. So read the question carefully and then solve it. So this is the question, guys. RS Impex manufacture a product whose monthly demand is 10,000 units. Each unit of final products require 0.8 unit of raw material which can be procured from the market at the rate rupees 100 per unit. Further, following costs are incurred for handling the inventory, that is interest cost 1.5% per month, obsolescence cost 5% per annum, and storage cost. Cost to place an order is rupees 100 per order. Calculate EOQ and total cost. So I request you guys to please read the question carefully and write down the answer, that how much is what is the EOQ and what is the total cost. So waiting for your answers, guys. मिस्टर असलम अगेन फर्स्ट आने की होड़ में आंसर गलत मत कीजिए. योर आंसर इज इनकरेक्ट मिस्टर असलम. प्लीज रीड द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली. मिस्टर जश शाह, योर आंसर इज इनकरेक्ट मिस्टर. Mr. Aslam, Mr. Jasha, I have got the answer from Mr. Aslam and Mr. Jasha. Answers are incorrect. Very good, Alok, your answer is correct. Dilip Rathod, yes, your answer is correct. Mr. Aslam, waiting for your answer, my dear. I've got the correct answer from Mr. Alok and Mr. Dilip. Mr. Aslam and Jash Shah waiting for your correct answer. Okay, I've got answer from Uday. Your answer is incorrect, Uday. Dhyanesh, your answer is correct. Very good, Dhyanesh, your answer is correct. Yes, Mr. Aslam, Mr. Alok. Sorry, Mr. Aslam and Mr. Jash waiting for your answers. Okay, I've got answer from Piyush Chaurasia, incorrect answer. Manoj Kumar Thakur, incorrect answer. Try to figure out, Jash. I'm not going to help you in your exams. You have to identify that where you made the mistake. Exam में sir पढ़ाने नहीं आएंगे. You have to find out the solution. Alok, yes, very good. Your answer is correct. Mrs. Manisha Ben Panchal, incorrect answer. Just Shah and Aslam waiting for your answers, my dear. Palak, your answer is incorrect. Miss Palak, your answer is incorrect. Yes, Jyoti, Shruti. Priyanka, waiting for your answer, guys. Kavita. Okay, I've got answer from Pranav Vashisht. Incorrect answer, Pranav. Priyanka, incorrect answer. No worries, just take your time. I want a correct answer from your end. Mr. Aslam, where are you? Mr. Abdul, where are you guys? Miss Jyoti, I'm surprised your answer is no way near to the correct answer. Incorrect answer, Jyoti. Please try it again. Shruti, your answer is incorrect. Yes, Dilip Rathod, your answer is correct. Jyoti, incorrect answer. Nikita Namal, incorrect answer. Jyoti Jha, incorrect answer. Kanchan Kumari, incorrect answer. Still, you guys are not thorough with the concept. I request you guys to please read the question carefully. The answer is there in the question itself. So read the question carefully, guys. Okay, I've got an answer from Uday Vishwakarma. Yes, your answer is correct, Uday. Just Shah, again incorrect answer. Dhyanesh Ingle, your answer is incorrect now. The total cost is incorrect. Harshu, your answer is incorrect. Still, there are so many students who have not answered. So, Mr. Mastan Wali, your answer is incorrect. Okay, I've got an answer from Sunil Kumar. Pranav, your answers are incorrect, my dear. Incorrect answer, Sunil Kumar and Mr. Pranav Vasisht. Okay, I've got an answer from Ritesh Agarwal. Again, Ritesh, your answer is incorrect. Guys, try to solve it. मैं solve करूंगा, सब easy लगेगा आपको. But better you try it on your own. If you guys can rectify your mistake, समझ लीजिए कि you guys are improving. So try to rectify your mistakes whose answers are incorrect. Just Shah, again incorrect, my dear. Mr. Aslam, where are you, my dear? Waiting for your answers. Just, I appreciate, but still your answer is incorrect, my dear. Okay, Piyu Chaurasia again, but again your answer is incorrect, my dear. Mr. Gopala Krishnan, incorrect answer. Yes, Uday, your answer is correct. Now let me solve this question, guys. Miss Palak, incorrect answer. Miss Jyoti, incorrect answer. Please read the question carefully, Jyoti. So now, as I told you, three elements are required for calculating the economic order quantity. Kavita Chandak, the interest rate is 1.5% per month. So guys, as I told you, three elements are required for calculation of EOQ, wherein the first one is annual consumption. Annual consumption means annual consumption of raw material. Harshu, now your answer is correct. Very good. So when talking about annual consumption, it talks about the annual consumption of raw material. So herein, RS Impex is a company who manufacture a product and whose monthly demand is 10,000 units. So the yearly demand will be how much? 1,20,000 units. Further, it is given in the question that every units require 0.8 units of raw material. So it means how much will be the raw material requirement? Very simple, guys. 96,000 units is my requirement of raw material. So the first part जो students ने गलती की थी, उन लोगों ने EOQ जो है वो calculation के time A को उन लोगों ने 1,20,000 लिया. That is incorrect. Kavita, again incorrect answer. Dhyanesh, yes, your answer is correct. Piyu Chaurasia, incorrect answer. So now the first mistake what the most of the students did this, that they have calculated the EOQ using 10,000 into 12. That's it. So this was the first mistake what most of the students did. So my annual consumption A will be 96,000. Now let's proceed further with ordering cost. It is given straight away in the question that it is rupees 100 per order. Thereafter, when talking about the carrying cost, it is 1.5% per month. So per year it will be how much? 18% per annum. This will be 18% per annum. 1.5 into 12. Very good, Miss Palak. Now your answer is correct. Manoj Kumar, incorrect answer. Piyu Chaurasia, now your answer is correct. Jash Shah, yes, your answer is correct now. Very good, Jash. Pooja Kumari, incorrect answer. I hope now you are feeling relieved, very much relieved, because after 3 answers now your answer is correct. Very good, Kavita. Now your answer is correct. Carrying cost is 1.5 into 12, that is 18 plus 5 plus 7. So total 30%. So total 30% of what? Of 100. So 100 into 30%. That is 30. So now the formula 2 into A into O divided by C. Therefore, under root 2 into A is 96,000 into O, that is 30. Sorry, that is 100 divided by C, that is 30. The answer will be 800 units. No worries, Piyush. No worries. Kanchan Kumari, very good. So this is the correct answer, guys. That is 800 units is my economic order quantity. I hope you guys are clear that examiner kuch bhi kar sakta hai. They can do anything to confuse you. But guys, stick to your basics. Annual consumption means, first of all, the consumption should be annual. The consumption should be annual. Plus, this should be of raw material. This should be of raw material. Second thing, carrying cost should always be per annum. This carrying cost should always be per annum. And ordering cost should always be per order. So, ये 3 elements में examiner कुछ भी ऊपर नीचे कर सकता है to confuse you. But stick to your basics, read the question patiently and then proceed for the solution. पहले solution की तरफ rush मत कीजिए. Read the question carefully and thoroughly and then proceed for the solution. So now we have the final cost, that is order quantity, that is 800 units. So calculation of cost. Raw material cost will be 96,000 into 100. So this will be 96 lakh. Ordering cost. So My annual requirement is 96,000 and my order quantity is how much? 800 units. So how many order need to be placed? 96,000 divided by 800. That is 120 order need to be placed and ordering cost is how much? 100. So into 100. So this will be 12,000. And then talking about the carrying cost, the cost of handling the inventory, it is always calculated on average inventory. So 800 divided by 2 into 30. So this will be again 12,000. So this will be 96,24,000 will be the total cost. As I told you that at economic order quantity, carrying cost is equals to the ordering cost. No worries, Pranav. I request you guys to please copy the question and the solution and mark the point where you did the mistake. Those who are not being able to answer it correctly, very important guys, mark that point in your notebook that this is the point where I did the mistake, ताकि वापस वो future में mistake repeat नहीं हो. So I request you to please copy the question and the solution. Very good, Pranav. No worries, my dear. At least you are thorough with the concept. That is very important. No worries, Piyush. At least you are thorough with the concept. That is more than sufficient. It happens sometimes, so no worries. Very good, Jasha. So giving you 2 minutes time to please take a quick review of what I have discussed till now. Thereafter, we'll proceed further with the remaining part of the chapter. Anyone else having any doubts or queries in this question, you guys can ask me, waiting for your queries. Miss Priyanka, sir, I had taken the annual consumption as 96,000, but price also as 80 instead of 100 during my second attempt to solve the question. No worries, Miss Priyanka. The major purpose of this question is that you guys should read the question carefully. That is where it is per unit, where it is per annum, where it is annual consumption or monthly consumption. No worries, Aslam. I hope please check the solution, my dear. Waiting for your queries. The economic order quantity, the most important part of the chapter. Examiner do ask question on this topic quite frequently. So whatever the doubts you have, you guys can post, because many of the students were not able to solve. So I hope you guys have realized your mistake. Yes, Priyanka, I know you have got the answer in your third attempt. So guys, we are done with economic order quantity. That is the first part of setting quantitative levels. Now let's proceed further with the next part. Still waiting if you guys have any query. Sir, costing is very good subject. Okay, thank you so much, Alok. Thanks for your thanks. Thank you so much. Sir, Priyanka, give one more question of same type. Priyanka, that if the time permits, I'll surely going to give you one more question at the end of the session. But right now we are running short of time. Today is the last class of material. Few topics are already covered by other faculty, so I need to discuss at least few more points. Thereafter, if we are left out with some time, we'll surely try to put up one more question in front of you guys. No worries, Manoj Kumar. That is perfect. No worries. No, Mr. Jumliwala, Mohsin Yusuf Bhai. No, we can't. The cost of handling the inventory once it reaches the factory gate. So let's proceed further, guys, with the next part of chapter, next part of the setting quantitative levels, wherein in the first part हम लोगों ने ये फिक्स अप तो कर लिया कि ऑर्डर कितना करना है कि और ओवरऑल कॉस्ट इज मिनिमम. So how much quantity we need to order that our overall cost is minimum, now we are able to figure out. Now the point is order कितना करना है ये तो पता चल गया है, मगर order कब करना है, that is the point. So let's start, guys. When to order, that is what is the reorder level. So let me take one example. Let's say my annual consumption is $5,000 units. My ordering cost and carrying cost let's say my ordering cost is 20 and my carrying cost is 5. No worries, Mr. Abdul, that's completely okay, but I do want you to participate in the session, Abdul. The more you will participate, the more you will be clear, the more you will be thorough with the concept. At least you can judge yourself कि आपको कितना समझ में आया है, Mr. Abdul. No worries, Kanchan Kumari. Thank you so much. You will surely clear the exams. The only thing is you have to practice a lot and focus more on concepts rather than remembering the formulas. Very good, Mohammad Aslam. Your answer is correct. So now, with this much of information, we can easily calculate the economic order quantity. ये information से we can easily calculate economic order quantity by applying the formula. Guys, do make a note of it. Exam में every time when the examiner asks the question, do mention the formula. आपको मन में क्या आता है, examiner don't know. Whatever you write in exams, that is what the examiner know. So always write the formula and then solve the question. So economic order quantity is equals to under root 2 into A into O upon C. So therefore, under root 2 into A, my annual consumption is how much? 5,000. My ordering cost is how much? 20 divided by 5. So this will be 200. So now, very good Priyanka, very good Josh, very good Manisha Ben Panchal. Now guys, we are well aware about that how much quantity we should order. 200 units. Now the point is 200 units हमारी factory में आ गए. 200 units we have received in our factory, and once these 200 units will be received, we will issue it for the production. हम लोग क्या करेंगे? प्रोडक्शन के लिए इशू करेंगे. कभी 10 यूनिट इशू करेंगे, कभी 20 यूनिट इशू करेंगे, कभी 50 यूनिट इशू करेंगे, एंड देयर बाय हमारा स्टॉक क्या होता जाएगा? कम होता जाएगा. 100 हो जाएगा. 200 से कितना हो जाएगा? 150 होगा, फिर 100 होगा, फिर 80 होगा, फिर 40 होगा, फिर 20 होगा, और फिर 0 हो जाएगा. So once we receive 200 units, they will be gradually issued to the manufacturing department for processing. So my point is, हम लोग ऑर्डर का वेट कब, हम लोगों को वापस ऑर्डर कब करना है? Now further, for calculating reorder level and other points, some more information is required in the question. So I'm taking some random figures. That is the usage time, usage and the time of delivery. Further, this information will always be given in the question. Let's say my minimum usage of raw material is 10 and my maximum usage is 20. If the average information is not given in the question, better take the simple average. So this will be 15. Further, when talking about the time means delivery time the supplier is going to take after receiving the order. So when talking about the delivery time, let's say in this question, the supplier will take minimum 2 days to deliver. On an average, he takes 3 days to deliver, and max to max, in worst possible scenario, वो 4 दिन भी ले सकता है. So this is the information that will be given in the question. I request you guys to please pay attention. For calculating all the other points that is relating to setting up of quantity levels, we'll be needing some more information. So the question will provide us the information. So I have taken some random figures. When talking about usage, it shows it represents usage of raw material. That is the material that is issued from stores for consumption to the production department. When talking about the time or lead time, it represents what? The delivery time the supplier that is going to take to provide us the material. Yes. So now, let's say we have received 200 units. अब 200 units में से कभी हम 10 issue करेंगे, कभी 15 issue करेंगे, कभी 20 issue करेंगे. So thereby resulting in reduction of stock. हमारा stock क्या होगा? 200 units से कम होगा, कभी 170 आएगा, फिर 120 आएगा, और धीरे धीरे क्या हो जाएगा? 0 हो जाएगा. तो my point is, when we have to place an order, order कब place करना है? क्या हम लोग 0 होने तक का वेट करेंगे? No. If we wait till our stock is 0, we have to shut down our factory for at least 2 days. And in worst possible case, we have to shut down the factory for 4 days also, because supplier might take 2 to 4 days to deliver the product. So this is not advisable कि भाई आप 0 तक होने का वेट करो. So the point is, कब तक इशू करना, कब तक हम लोगों को ऑर्डर प्लेस करना पड़ेगा, ऑर्डर कब प्लेस करना चाहिए. तो लेट्स टेक द वर्स्ट पॉसिबल सिनेरियो. Let's take the worst possible scenario कि बुरे से बुरा क्या हो सकता है. Very simple. First and the foremost thing from supplier end, बुरे से बुरा ये हो सकता है कि he supply the product, he supply our raw material in 4 days. Second thing, in the worst possible scenario, हमारा product का demand बहुत high हो गया and every day we are consuming 20 units. So this is the worst possible scenario कि भाई every day मेरे store से 20 units issue हो रहे हैं, plus supplier भी worst possible case में 4 days में supply करेगा. It means what? If we maintain a stock of 80 units, if we maintain the stock of 80 units, it means what? ये 80 units जो है हर तरह की situation handle कर सकता है. When the demand is minimum, when the demand is maximum, when the demand is average, or when the supplier takes more time or less time. If we are having 80 units in stock, we can cater any type of situation. So this is the point where we are the safest. हम लोग ये पॉइंट पे सबसे ज्यादा सेफ है, बिकॉज वी कैन केटर एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ सिचुएशन. सो एट दिस पॉइंट, as soon as your stock reaches this level of 80, you should place an order. So what is reorder level? The level where we have to place an order, and that level we can that is the level where we can cater any types of situation कि supplier के end पे भी delay हो गया है और हमारे manufacturing production department का requirement भी बहुत ज्यादा आ रहा है. So in all the cases this 80 stock can handle. I mean this in all the cases अगर हमारा stock 80 units है तो we can handle any situation. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can ask me. So when talking about reorder level, it uses the most pessimistic approach. Pessimistic approach use करते हैं कि in worst possible scenario what will happen. So herein we can say 20 is what? The maximum usage time. Into maximum delivery time. Maximum usage into maximum delivery time. If you guys have any doubts in reorder level, that is order कब place करना है, zero तक wait नहीं करना है. If we wait till zero, minimum to minimum, we have to shut down our factory for 2 days, and it in exceptional circumstances, it can go up till 4 days. 4 days factory band, matlab there is a huge loss to the company. So if you guys have any doubts in what is reorder level, you guys can ask me. It's a very easy concept. Whatever the doubts you guys have, you guys can ask me. Maximum level stock is not the reorder level. Reorder level is that point where is that point where we can cater any sort of situation ki worst possible situation bhi ho jaye to we are able to handle. That is what we call as reorder level. As soon as jaise hi 200 se aapka 180 hua, 160 hua, 120 hua, 110 hua, 100 hua, 90 or 80 hua, jaise hi 80 hua, better place an order immediately. Either the supplier will provide the raw material in 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. We are not at all worried for. Yes, Alok, well said. Economic order quantity कितना order करना है? 200 order करना है, because this is the best quantity wherein my ordering cost is also minimum, carrying cost is also minimum, and both are equal. In fact, the total cost is minimum. But when talking about reorder level, order कितना करना है पता है, मगर कब करना है, that is very important. So when you reaches the stock level of 80, you have to place an order. Just below 80 nahi, just reaches 80. Just Shah, please correct your statement. As soon as you reach the stock level of 80, better place an order. Not below 80, just when you reaches 80, better place an order. Waiting for your queries, guys. Those who want to copy this part can please copy. Giving you 2 minutes time, guys. Please copy this part. And if you guys want to have any doubts, if you guys want to post any queries, you guys can please post. Try to remember the formula. Don't try to remember the formulas. Try to remember the concept. Why we are doing this. If you start doing this, the costing is the most easiest subject of the syllabus. Very good. So focus more on concepts rather than formulas. So let's proceed further, guys. So I hope that you guys are thorough with reorder level. Now let's start with the next part, that is maximum level. Yes, Dhyanesh Ingle, well said, that we are able to handle any type of situation if we have 80 units in hand. That is the reorder level. So now, when talking about the maximum level, when talking about the maximum level, max to max हम लोग कितना stock रख सकते हैं. See, what company do is, practically what the company do is, company set up these levels and accordingly they arrange the resources. See, company ने अपना level set up कर लिया कि भी max to max इतना ही रख सकते हैं, accordingly उतना capacity का ये लोग godown purchase करते हैं. So if the stocks goes above the maximum level, then yes, to store that extra quantity, they have to hire a godown. So generally companies do avoid overstocking. That is the reason behind overstocking of raw material. Because अगर थोड़ा सा भी stock of raw material ऊपर हुआ, तो they have to hire a separate premise and they have to incur extra rent for a very small amount or for a small quantity. So now, guys, Mr. Abdul, again, I'm telling you, focus more on concepts rather than anything else. Now, guys, let's proceed further with the maximum level. Maximum level क्या होता है कि इससे ज्यादा स्टॉक हम लोगों को नहीं रखना है. अगर इससे ज्यादा स्टॉक आ गया तो we have to take a separate premise on rent which the company don't want to. Company अपना additional cost burden नहीं बढ़ाएगा because overstocking is not good for the company. Funds block होते हैं plus the cost of handling the inventories also shoot up like anything. So my point is, what is the maximum level? So now, let's say 200 units we received. Slowly and slowly, my stock is decreasing and it goes to the level of 80. Slowly and slowly, my stock was reducing and it goes to the level of 80. And as soon as it goes to the level of 80, I placed an order of how many units? 200 units. Now let's take a situation. मैंने 200 units का order किया and after 3 hours, supplier provided me this 200 units. So in that case, how much will be my maximum level? 280. I repeat again, once I reach the level of 80, I will place an order of how many units? 200 units. Let's take a situation कि मैंने phone किया supplier को कि please provide me the material. And after 3 hours, I received the material in my factory gate. Then in that case, my maximum level will be how much? 280. But this situation doesn't apply to this question because supplier can't provide me the raw material immediately. He will take at least 2 days time. कम से कम वो 2 दिन तो time लेगा ही to provide me the material. So this answer is incorrect in this question. If the supplier is able to provide the raw material immediately, then yes, we can say the maximum stock level we have to keep is 280. But here in this case, they can provide us the material only after 2 days. So let's take the worst possible situation from optimistic point of view. कि हुआ क्या कि suppose supplier ने मुझे 2 दिन में ही material provide कर दिया. Further ये 2 दिनों में we are consuming only 10 units. So it means what? In these 2 days, minimum quantity अगर हमारा consume भी होगा तो कितना होगा? 20 consume होगा. How much? 10 into 220. So it means what? How much should be my maximum level? 260 units. This should be the maximum level that should be set by the management. Why? Why I have deducted minimum? To get the maximum, we have to deduct the minimum, guys. To get the maximum, we have to deduct the minimum. Why? See, think worst possible situation from optimistic point of view, wherein suppose we have placed an order और 2 दिन में ही order आ गया और suppose ये 2 दिनों में हमारा raw material consumption was only 10 units. So how much maximum stock we should keep? That is 260 units. So this should be the maximum level of stock we should keep, and accordingly we should hire a premise on rent. Let's say in a particular situation, if my stock goes to 290, will I be able to handle my stock in my current godown? No, because my godown capacity is of 260 units only. So to store these 30 units, I have to take one more warehouse on rent. And in that, the company is not at all interested because for storing just 30 units, they can't take a warehouse on hire. So I hope you guys are clear with this concept. That is, what is maximum level? Very simple. Reorder level. That is, at 80, you will place the order. Plus, how much quantity you will place the order? Reorder quantity you will place the order. Minus, think from worst possible scenario कि भाई 2 दिन में material भी आ गया. Apart from this, in 2 दिनों में और consumption was bare minimum, that is minus minimum usage. into minimum time. So this is what the formula of maximum. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me in reorder level and maximum level. Waiting for your queries, guys. Very good, Manisha Ben. I hope you are thorough with the concept. Very good, Dhyanesh. Waiting for your queries. Why I have deducted the minimum? I hope you guys have understood that to get the maximum, we have to deduct the minimum. Why? Because let's say I have placed an order. What if the supplier provides the material in 2 days? What if in these 2 days, my consumption is of 10 units only? Then at the maximum, we have to keep a level of 260 units. That is what we call as the maximum level, guys. Waiting for your queries, guys. Waiting for your queries. Further, I request you guys to please copy this part. I request you guys to please copy this part, giving you 2 minutes time. Waiting for your queries, guys. Yes, Mr. Aslam, hopefully you are thorough with the concept now. No, madam, you have to use the normal calculator only, Kavita. Priyanka, any doubts? Jyoti, any doubts? Shruti, Jasha, Sunil Kumar, Abdul, Manisha Ben, Alok, Ritesh Agrawal, any doubts? Pranav? Thank you so much, Pranav. I want you guys to actively participate in the session. Don't feel shy. Whatever the queries you have, please post your queries. The institute is conducting these classes only for the benefit of the students. So better take the maximum out of it. So now this part is over. So we have discussed reorder level, that is order kab place karna hai so that we can handle any type of situation. Then the maximum level, that is ki bhai 80 to hai hamare haath mein. We do place an order, so we will receive 200 units. Now let's see the worst possible scenario. Ki supplier also provide us the material in 2 days. Again, or consumption is also for 10 units per day. So in that case, we can calculate the maximum level. Now, thank you so much, Ritesh. Now, the next part is the minimum level. Now, guys, right from start. When we have to place the order, once we reach the 80, we have to place an order. So the minimum level will be less than 80 units because 80 units में हमने place किया order. So during the period wherein the order will be received, some amount of units will be consumed. So my point is, once we reaches the level of 80 units, we have to place an order. Order place करने के बाद थोड़ा time तो लगेगा. In that period of time, some units will be consumed. So the point is, minimum level will be less than 80. Now, guys, how much time to deduct and how much quantity to deduct? Now, the point is, this minimum and maximum. ये जो दो situations होती है, it occurs once in blue moon. That is, suppose minimum when there is too much of rains or something like that. We are into a kind of industry wherein if it is a rainy season, our product has no demand. But let's say when talking about maximum, specifically on Christmas, our production goes up because the demand of the product is high. So these two situations happens once in blue moon. But this is the everyday affair. That is, every day on an average, we do consume 50 units and on an average, the supplier do take 3 days time. So let's take it the average figures only. कि भाई 80 पे order place किया है. On an average, our consumption is 15 and that too also the supplier do take 3 days. It means what? 35 units is my minimum. Why do we take average? Because these two situations occur once in blue moon. So we do consider the day-to-day situation while calculating the minimum level. So once we reaches 35 units, that is my minimum level. So when talking about the formula, reorder level, at reorder level, we will place the order minus after placing the order, some units will be consumed, plus the supplier is going to take time. How much time? The average time into average usage. So minimum कितना हो सकता है? 35 units in this case. This is the minimum level. Very good, Manisha Ben. Very good, Vimal. I request you guys to please copy this part. That is, what is minimum level? Ritesh, it is 35, not 45. I think my calculation is correct. 15 3s are 45. 80 minus 45 is 35, Ritesh. Kanchan Kumari, maximum level or minimum level occurs in worst possible situation. So if we would have taken the maximum level, then minimum. See guys, one more point. Technically, minimum level 0 bhi ho sakta hai. Since Kanchan Kumari has asked it out, so technically तो 0 भी हो सकता है, but this is not advisable. That's why we have taken. See, 0 करने के लिए तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? Very simple. 80 minus the worst possible situation, that is 20 into 4. So this will be 0. So technically it can be 0, but we do take the average situation. Yes, in most of the, in maximum 99% cases, yes, it is less than ROL. I hope, Kanchan, your doubt is resolved. Mr. Abdul, I hope your doubt is resolved. If we take the worst possible case, the stock will be 0. So this is not the minimum level. So practically what we do is we do consider the average requirement. So guys, let's proceed further with the next part, that is danger level. Sorry, before danger level, let me cover average level of inventory. The name itself says average level. That is maximum level plus minimum level divided by 2. So this is what we call as the average level. So I hope you guys are thorough with this part. That is, what is the reorder level? Order कब करना है? 1 second. See again, just the same point. Technically, तो minimum level 0 भी हो सकता है, but it is advisable that better take on and average that how much is the requirement. Yes, well said, Kanchan. So now, when talking about what we have discussed, की quantity कितना order करना है, we call it as reorder quantity. Order कब करना है? When to place an order? That is reorder level. What should be the maximum? What is the maximum level? And we have to keep in check the maximum level. We have calculated. What should be the minimum level? Minimum level can technically be 0 also. Again, I'm not denying that technically minimum level 0 nahi ho sakta. It can be 0 also. But for calculating, we can't keep the stock 0. So that's why we have taken the average part. Further, when talking about average level, that is minimum plus maximum divided by 2. Now, danger level is the next point we will be discussing. I'll be discussing danger level with the help of an example. Let's say I have a bike and my bike is in reserve. That is what we call as the minimum level. But suppose उतना ही पेट्रोल बचा है कि मैं घर से पेट्रोल पंप जा सकता हूं. So that is what we call as the danger level. That is below the minimum level is what? Danger level. The best example is the bike that I am having that much of petrol only that I can go to the petrol pump. That is the danger level. So when talking about danger level, how we will calculate? We can use average consumption, or in some cases we will use minimum consumption also, but if the question is clearly specifying, then too only. So average consumption is the best approach into lead time for supply of material from the supplier, into lead time for emergency purchase. Lead time means what? Order place किया तब से लेके order कब तक आया. See, that is what we call as the lead time for emergency purchase. So this is danger level. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. When talking about the lead time for emergency purchase, कि हमने फोन किया और supplier कितनी देर में provide कर सकता है, the time only. But in emergency situation, sometimes supplier do consider it. Let's say the average the minimum delivery time is 2 days. But suppose in case of emergency situation, the supplier can deliver us the product in 1 day also. So that is what we call as the lead time for emergency purchase. So this is all what about I request you guys to please copy this part. Thereafter, I'll give you a brief about what we have discussed till now. That is, what is ROQ, what is ROL, what is maximum level, minimum level, danger level. One more point that is left out is buffer stock. I'll be just summarizing all these points. There is no lead time given in this question. It will be specifically given in the question, that is lead time for emergency purchase. If the examiner do ask you to calculate the danger level. As I told you कि Activa में पेट्रोल ही इतना है कि भाई रिजर्व पे आ गया, that is the minimum level. But Activa में पेट्रोल ही इतना है कि we can go to the petrol pump, that is what we call as the danger level. In this example, there is nothing related to lead time. If the examiner do give you information that lead time for emergency purchase, let's say 1.5 days, then 1.5 into the average consumption, that is 15. So 22.5 will be the, we can say, the danger level. I request you guys to please copy this part. Thereafter, we will summarize what we have discussed in setting up quantitative levels. The most important part of the chapter wherein the examiner do ask question on this part only most of the time. So we have covered this part in detail. Now one more part that is important that is left out is the ratio analysis and ABC analysis. I have to discuss these two parts also. Thank you so much, Sunil Kumar. So please copy. Last 1 minute for you. You can post your queries. Please copy in the meanwhile. Thereafter, we'll summarize what we have discussed in today's session, and then we'll move towards the next part. So let me summarize these levels with the help of an example. Let's say I have a 3-story bungalow and there is a water tank that is fixed up on the terrace. And I have a huge tank at the basement also. So there is a water tank that is placed on the top of the terrace. So the water is, water जो है, पानी जो है ये पंप से अंडरग्राउंड से ये वाटर टैंक में हम लोग क्या कहते हैं भेजते हैं एंड दिस इज द वाटर टैंक. नाउ व्हेन टॉकिंग अबाउट द मैक्सिमम लेवल, दिस इज द मैक्सिमम लेवल ऑफ वाटर टैंक. अगर इससे ज्यादा अगर पानी आया तो इट विल बी अ वेस्ट ऑफ वाटर और कहीं ना कहीं मेरा टेरेस स्पॉइल होगा या मेरा कहीं ना कहीं पानी का लीकेज होगा. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज द मैक्सिमम लेवल. अगर ज्यादा पानी ऊपर अगर हमने ले लिया तो वी हैव टू टेक एक्स्ट्रा टैंक. सो दैट इज नॉट एडवाइजेबल. उसका कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा होगा. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज द मैक्सिमम लेवल. When talking about minimum level, better to meet out our daily uses requirement, that is to wash clothes, to take shower, to wash utensils, we should keep that much of minimum level. इतना पानी हमें all the time रखना ही चाहिए. That is advisable. When talking about the average level, it will be in between maximum and minimum. So this will be the average level. Once the water goes below the average level, instruction आ जाएगा कि better start the pump and once start the pump and just अब पानी जो है ऊपर टंकी में भेज दीजिए, ऊपर वाटर टैंक में भेज दीजिए. So we call it as the reorder level. Start the pump for filling water in tank. When talking about, I hope you guys are clear, maximum level, that is इससे ज्यादा नहीं रख सकते. If we want more water, if we want to fill more water, then yes, we have to take a new tank. That will be a cost in, that will be a burden in my pocket. When talking about minimum level, so that on in average our daily requirements will not hamper. इतना पानी रखिए कि हम लोगों का खाना, पीना, नहाना, whatever it is, smoothly चलता रहे. Average level is the average of maximum and minimum level. Once the water goes below the average level, better it is advisable कि आप पंप चालू कर दीजिए and make sure that the water is full in the tank that is placed over the terrace. When talking about the danger level, this is the danger level. This is only for emergency situation. No shower, no utensils, no washing of clothes. It's only for the danger level. If the water once reaches the danger level, then stop all the useless activities. Oh, it's only for the emergency situation. So that is what we call as the danger level. When talking about buffer stock, generally in big bungalows, people do keep water in buckets. So this is what my buffer stock. I hope this part is clear. This is the maximum level, average level, minimum level, reorder level, danger level. There is an alarming situation कि boss save the water. Save the water, use it only for the purpose of emergency. So this is danger level. And when talking about the buffer stock, the stock, we do keep it in big buckets. That is my buffer stock. So this is the summary of what we have discussed in detail in this class. So waiting for your queries, guys. If you guys want to prepare this diagram also, you guys can prepare it, because it will be helpful for you guys to understand that how it works. Now, guys, this is all what about the setting up of quantitative levels. I tried my level best to cover each and every point in detail. Now, I request you guys to solve all the question of study material relating to economic order quantity, thereafter reorder level, maximum level, minimum level. Try to solve the questions in your study material. I assure you guys, you will be able to solve the questions. In fact, 90% questions belong to this part only. So I request you to solve all the question in writing. I'm mentioning specifically, don't do ticking. You are not a CA. You are still preparing for a CA. No need to do auditing. The answer in the study material and the practice manual are correct. So no need for vouching and verification. Better write your own solution and then check the final answer. Now let's proceed further with the next part of inventory control, that is using ratio analysis. If the time permits, I'll discuss one more question relating to reorder level, maximum level, minimum level, but let me complete the conceptual part, please. No worries, Priyanka. Don't worry. The things will be fine. Thank you so much, Josh. Yes, Priyanka. I hope you can understand this practically, because since you are staying in village. Now, guys, ratio analysis. Inventory control using ratio analysis. Now, guys, we do calculate two types of ratio. The first one is stock turnover ratio. And then is stock velocity. Stock turnover ratio and stock velocity. When talking about stock velocity, it covers that stock kitne time tak humne hold kiya, cycle kitne time tak chala. So when talking about the stock turnover ratio, very simple. Raw material consumed how much time the raw material is consumed, keeping in mind our average inventory as compared to our average inventory. How much time the raw material is consumed of average inventory, that is that stock turnover ratio shows. So when talking about raw material consumed, it is opening stock of raw material, add purchase of raw material, less closing stock of raw material. This is raw material consumed, and when talking about average inventory, opening plus closing divided by 2. When talking about stock velocity, very simple, guys, 365. If the examiner do ask the answer in days, then 365 days oblique 12 months oblique 52 weeks divided by stock turnover ratio. Now, guys, very important, if the stock turnover ratio is high, let's say my raw material consumed is 1 lakh and my average inventory is 50,000. It means what? To consume 1 lakh to consume 1 lakh raw material, we have to keep an average inventory of 50,000. It means what? Our stock turnover ratio is 2. It means what? Our major funds are blocked. In our company, the major funds are blocked in the raw material. So if the inventory turnover is low, it means what? Our major funds are blocked in raw material and inventory is not fast moving. But yes, if the inventory turnover is high, it is very good for the company. It shows that the inventory is fast moving, plus or lesser number of funds are blocked in the raw material. So high inventory turnover ratio is a good sign for the company, and a low inventory turnover is a bad sign for the company. Why? Because a low inventory turnover shows that the most of the funds are blocked, or major funds of the companies are blocked in the raw material itself. So that is what the stock turnover ratio shows. So I request you guys to please copy this part. I'll be discussing one question. I'll be discussing one question on ratios also. Please copy this part. The time is running, giving you 1 minute time to copy. Further, whatever the queries you have, you guys can please post your queries. I repeat again. High inventory turnover shows less funds are blocked plus inventory is fast moving. And a positive sign for company. No worries, Miss Kanchan Kumari. I'll try my level best to cover the conceptual class by 9:30. Thereafter, we'll keep some 5-7 minutes time for the queries also. So don't worry, guys. Please copy this part. The high inventory turnover shows that the lesser number of funds are blocked and the inventory is fast moving. So let's discuss illustration number 11 of the study material. I request you to guys, please open your study material. I'm discussing illustration number 11, page number 2.40. So the following data are available in respect of material X for the year ended 31st March 2021. Herein my opening stock is 90,000. Purchases are 2,70,000. And closing stock is 1,10,000. So my raw material consumed will be how much? 2,50,000. And my average stock will be how much? Very simple, guys. 90,000 plus 1,10,000 divided by 2. This will be 1 lakh. So we can easily calculate inventory turnover ratio. Guys, I'm going a bit fast because we are running short of time and this part is very easy. So guys, when talking about inventory turnover ratio, it is raw material consumed divided by average inventory. So my raw material consumed is 2,50,000 and my average inventory is 1 lakh. It means what? 2.5 is my inventory turnover ratio. Let's take a different situation. Let's say my raw material consumed is 2,50,000, but to consume 2,50,000, only 50,000 is the average amount of stock that is required. Again, instead of to maintain a huge stock of 1 lakh, let's say we are maintaining only 50,000 stock. It means my inventory turnover will be how much? 5. So you guys can easily figure out that the inventory turnover ratio is high. It means what? Lesser number of funds are blocked, because herein the funds are blocked for 1 lakh on and average inventory. Herein the funds are blocked only for 50,000 on and average inventory. When talking about stock velocity or stock holding period, when talking about stock velocity, it is 365/12/52 divided by stock turnover ratio. So when talking about this, 365 divided by 2.5. 365 divided by stock turnover ratio as calculated. So 365 divided by 2.5, that is 146 days. It means what? My inventory cycle right from start till the end is for 146 days. Let's take in this situation, I have taken an illustration wherein 365 divided by, if my inventory turnover ratio is 5, it means what? My inventory is fast moving और मेरा पूरा cycle जो है कितने period में खत्म हो जाता है? 73 days. Again, this information is not given in the question. I have just taken a situation to explain you it in a better way. That very simple, if the stock turnover ratio is high, it is good for the company. Lesser amount of funds are blocked in the raw material. Apart from this, the stock is fast moving. So it will help us to avoid pilferage also, obsolescence also. So this is all what about ratio analysis, the important part of the chapter. So we are done with the first part, that is the setting quantitative levels. The next part is ratio analysis. Now one more part, that is relative classification. It is more or less related to theory. But there is an important topic, that is ABC analysis, that I want to discuss, because in past at least twice or thrice, examiner asked question on ABC analysis. So कुछ एक या दो अटेम्प्ट में एबीसी एनालिसिस पे क्वेश्चन पूछा था. I request you guys to please pay attention. The first part, that is the setting up quantitative levels, we have already finished. It is the most important part. Then the second most important part, that is ratio analysis, we have already discussed. This much is there in the ratio analysis. How to calculate average stock of raw material? It is opening plus closing divided by 2. So when talking about ABC analysis, this method says better categorize the inventory in A category, B category, C category. Categorize the inventory in 3 categories, that is A category, B category and C category. A category में वो inventory place कीजिए which are of very small quantity but have high value. B category on and average, and C category उन inventory को place कीजिए जिसका quantity बहुत ज़्यादा है but value कम है. Let's take a very simple example. I am a jeweler. I do manufacture gold jewelry, silver jewelry, and imitation jewelry. So the raw material, that is gold, will be categorized in A category, because even though it is of small quantity, it has very high value. So A category will be gold, B category will be silver, and C, wherein the imitation jewelry, the raw material is in bulk but hardly have any value. So this will be placed in C category. Now, what's the purpose of placing in A, B, C? So A category, which is of high value, need more management attention. उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा अपन लोग attention देंगे. B category पे on and average, and C category no attention required. We can keep it like that only. So this is the major logic behind A, B and C category. The rest all is more or less theory in this chapter. Yes, Alok, ABC exam में पूछा था. I think long back, but there are chances that the examiner do ask question. So guys, now let's sum up this chapter, guys, quickly. It's already 9:32. Now let me give you a brief what all you guys have to study. The first point, the major focus should be on setting up the quantitative levels. Try to solve maximum possible questions from study material plus past practice manual, RTP, mock test paper, everything. If you're thorough with the concept, just follow the thumb rule and solve the question. Trust me, guys, you will be able to. So try maximum possible question. The important point is read the question carefully. Kahan pe kya diya hai? Whether it is annual, whether it is per month, whether it is weekly. So read the question carefully. Your half of the problem is solved. Thereafter, moving towards the next part, again, the examiner do ask theory questions from this chapter. I tried my level best to cover the most of the theory part in these two sessions. Still, I request that some part is being left out because of the time constraint. So I request you guys to please read the theory once also, because there are chances examiner may ask 4 marks theory question from this chapter. So there are chances. So better be prepared for the worst, the pessimistic approach, wherein focus more on practical, but don't skip the theory. Theory is also very important in this chapter. The paper is a full 100 marks, so examiner can ask anything. So better from theory perspective also, this chapter is very important. Now, it's more of a practical, my dear ABC analysis. Now, guys, last but not least, try to solve questions in writing. Solution dekh ke verification vouching mat kijiye. Try to solve questions in writing. There is no alternate of hard work. Try to solve the maximum possible questions in coming 3-4 days, because I will not be taking labor costing. I'll be starting from overhead costing. So in the meanwhile, 3-4 days, learn what the faculty teaches you, the labor part. Plus, don't forget me. Try to solve the maximum possible questions of material. If you guys have any doubts, we'll try to address your questions on material in the next session. So till then, take care of yourself. God bless you. Work hard, practice hard. There is no alternate of hard work. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much, sir. Session is concluded.